Audra at Home is filmed in front of a live Pitbull audience.
Good morrow to all my queerdos, weirdos, and brojos. What is up? How are you? My name is Audra, and this video is making me nervous. That's why I put on my biggest hair and my gayest ears, because I saw Doctor Strange into the mouth of the multiverse, the madness of the... listen, I can never... Listen, if you're new here... My memory is like hot trash. I literally looked at this before because I've been having trouble trying to say it this entire time. And it's just like, why? Oh, there it is. There it is. Doctor Strange in the multiverse of madness. This was a lot. All right. That was quite a mouthful. And I have a big mouth. So. All right. So. I want to start this off because I know I'm trying to prepare myself. I know that the Marvel stans are going to try to come for me. So listen up, Marvel stans. I have news for you. I'm not a Marvel stan. All right. I don't watch all the movies. I haven't even seen all the Thors. I feel like I saw one Thor. I may have seen the second Thor. I'm not sure. I saw all of the Avengers movies, but not in order. I didn't care about the order. I watched the first one first, obviously, but then I think I watched the third one and then the second one. It was a madhouse. Yeah. So I need y'all to understand. I'm not a Marvel stan. I have seen all of the Hulk movies, because I'm a glutton for punishment. So I did see those. I did not see Black Widow or Shang. See, you're already mad at me. I haven't seen that. So all of that to say, I've seen all of the Iron Mans, but it's very tedious for me. I'm not gonna blame it on my ADHD. That would be easy. It's just I don't want to. And so I'm not a huge, like, I like some superhero movies, whatnot. You know what I mean? I could even tell you why the Fantastic Four keeps flopping on film. But I saw this. I saw the Doctor Strange movie, part 2. I'm just going to call it Doctor Strange part 2. Eat your heart out, Marvel stans. And again, biggest hair, gayest ears, because I'm trying to live my best, easiest life with this situation. I didn't like it. I'm going to just start there. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I tried to like it, but I got bored pretty quick. So the way that it started was good. You know, it starts off with Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange in a ponytail. Not a good look, by the way. It's not good. They should never have a Doctor Strange with a ponytail. It doesn't look good. I'm so sorry. It was terrible. It was terrifying. He looks like the professor with a tweed coat who, you know, fondles your breasts. Somewhat consensually. Do you know what I mean? It's like somewhat. Like, he kind of puts his hand out and you're kind of like, what are you doing? And then he's like, huh, huh. And you're like, I don't know how I feel about this. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he looks like. You're not quite sure yet. And you might get into it a little bit. You know, you might be like, oh, this isn't so bad. And it's over your clothes. You know what I mean? He's not in there on your naked titty. Anyways, the point is... This is why I don't talk about movies that I get so nervous and stressed out. So here's the thing. It starts out with him in his ponytail, and they're running. They is America Chavez. She's in this movie as well. And the only reason I know her, I think it's because I played an Avengers game. I feel like she was in that Avengers game. Correct me if I'm wrong. I played it on my PlayStation 4. It was like free, so I played it. It was an okay game. So it just wasn't, it was very tedious, I will say. You just kept doing the same things over and over and over again. And so it was just like, it starts out kind of exciting. You're like, oh my God, I'm an Avenger. And then it's like, oh my God, I'm an Avenger. So anyway, so it starts out with him and her running from a giant octopus, which exciting, right? I don't know what's happening, but I know we're starting with action. And so I'm excited about that. I'm an action film lover. You know, I like horror films. If you didn't know, suss out the channel. I love horror. So horror is my favorite genre. I was excited to watch this because I did like the first Doctor Strange. I did watch that. Do I remember what happened in it? Not exactly, but I do remember that what's her face? Oh gosh, she is like a glorious, well, I think it's they are a glorious creature. Anyways, I'll put them here, but they were in that, and I was like, Yes. So I did watch that Doctor Strange because I'm a sci-fi person as well. I like horror and I like sci-fi and terrible rom-coms. And I was so excited for the action. Doctor Strange gets up. It's a nightmare. And then he puts on his broken ass watch and he goes to the wedding of Rachel McAdams, called Christine in this movie. And she is apparently getting joyfully married. And he is like, my feelings are hurt. So he's pretending that his feelings are hurt. And then, of course, the battle that he had in his dream is coming to life right now, actually. And he has to swoop over. And I think that's one of the things I like about Doctor Strange is that, like, he doesn't have a covert, like, you know, lifestyle where, like, he's somebody else. You know, he doesn't have a, what is that thing called? You know, the words just left. Another idea. No, I'm done. I'm going to, you know, when I remember it, editing me, just let me know. It's something identity. It's not alternative identity. Anyways, we're going to let it go. So he takes off, throws his cape on, and everything's getting, you know, exciting. Action. And then it just, like, the action finally slows down. He, you know, with the help of Wong, they take out the eye of this other octopus creature. And America Chavez then starts explaining to them about the multiverse, which, you know, it is what it is. Like, okay. And they started talking about Spider-Man, which, again, I like Spider-Man, but I really, every time they reboot it, I don't even really watch, like, the first hour of the movie because it's going to be the origin story again, and I don't care. I've seen the origin multiple times. No, I don't read the comic books. I don't have the patience for it. But I'm just going to tell you, I don't want to watch that. So every time I watch a Spider-Man, I end up not even watching the first one because I'm like, I've seen the one with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And now the other guy, Tom Holland, everybody's going to get mad at me because I think everybody thinks that he's really hot. And I just called him the other guy. Anyway, so they have, like, the little joke there, which is...
More like a man.
Climbs walls, shoots webs.
Yeah, bingo.
Out of his butt?
No. Oh. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Juvenile. So this is where I feel like it starts to go off the rails to me. To me, where it truly just, like, goes into a place where I could not follow was when Doctor Strange is like, we need a witch. So he goes to talk to Wanda. Now, mind you, again, I don't watch the entire Marvel universe, okay? I don't know what's happening in it, but I do know that when the final Avengers, Age of Ultron 2, it's not that. Anyways, when the final Avengers movie, Wanda was chilling. You know what I mean? She was on the good guy side. Everything was chill. So Doctor Strange goes to talk to her and talks about, like, hey, multiverse, deep-a-dop. And she is like, oh, why don't you bring America here? And then he stops and she keeps walking forward and she shakes her head and she's like, you didn't tell me her name, did you? And then reveals, like, a fucking nightmare fuel. Just, like, everything's red and burnt because, of course, she is the Scarlet Witch, but everything is just, like, destructive. So here's the thing. My understanding is that if you had watched WandaVision, then maybe you would get this, but I didn't. And that is why the movie is bad. Amongst other things, because here's the thing, you can't create a sequel, right? And not even have it be a true sequel to the other movie, but also have it dependent on people having purchased a subscription product to watch the story of the Scarlet Witch. You see what I'm saying? So, like, everybody's not going to buy Disney Plus. And to be honest, I've had Disney Plus for over a year and I didn't know I had it. So we're not going to get wild about that. But I didn't know I had it. I had no idea. I found out that I had it by accident, kind of. I was like, oh, and then I clicked on it and then it worked and I was like, oh my God, I have Disney Plus. I've been paying for it this whole time. I didn't know. Point is, nobody should have to have seen WandaVision to get what's happening here. And I feel like that's fundamentally where the movie immediately fails. Because from this point forward, I'm just like, I don't understand anything. This is obviously going to be filled with spoilers if I didn't tell you before, because I know that I didn't, because I can actually hear that I didn't tell you that. Spoilers. If you haven't seen it, stop here. So Wanda is apparently evil. She's gone back to being the Scarlet Witch. And she is after America Chavez because America Chavez can move through the multiverse. Can travel the multiverse. And she needs, the Scarlet Witch needs America so that the Scarlet Witch can spend time with her imaginary children. They're not really imaginary, but they're like not her kids. They're kids in another multiverse. And so that sets up the premise that we have, which, first of all, I don't know why she didn't just try to befriend her in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the thing. The whole thing doesn't make sense from that point forward. Like, she's just been chasing America through the multiverse while also simultaneously using this like red evil book and like inhabiting the body of a different version of her and trying to be with these children, which is creepy a lot. Sam Raimi couldn't save this, but also I don't think it's necessarily all Sam Raimi's fault. Like, I feel like the reliance on Marvel to be PG-13 and be like a child toy production factory, that sounded weird when I said that, but you know what I mean? For children's toys, I think that severely limits what he can do. Because I think that they were trying to say that this is a horror film. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like, and I watch a lot of horror, and I feel like this is just like, slightly disturbing Avengers. Like, oh, it's a little bit more mature. So here's the thing. I watched this whole thing, and all of these things keep happening that I didn't feel like necessarily made sense. Like the Illuminati Council, like that whole thing. I was just like, why is this here? I felt like this is more like this. The problem with it for me was that this was two movies in one movie, and the two movies weren't the same movie. There were two different movies happening. There was the America Chavez and Doctor Strange movie, and then there was the Scarlet Witch movie. And the two don't really commingle well, and they don't make sense. So for me, I sat there and I watched it, and I was like, this is, okay, what could have been better for me is that remove this Scarlet Witch altogether, my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but I think just not have her be there at all. This could have been a movie about Doctor Strange. He's in the title. It doesn't say Doctor Strange versus the Scarlet Witch. And if that's what you wanted it to be, make the Scarlet Witch's stuff be stronger, because it really wasn't strong. Like, her whole thing when asked, like, why don't you just go and be with the kids? And her whole thing was like, what if they get sick? Girl, what? And she's like, there's infinite possibilities, and I can go to all these different multiverses. Again, if you're gonna have her be in the movie and that's gonna be her motivation, I just feel like it's a weak motivation. To me, it's I don't have children. What the hell do I know? But I also feel like that was a very weak motivation. Like, her whole motivation for like destroying fucking everything is for some children that she doesn't even actually have. You know what I mean? So it's just, ugh. And I'm sure there's probably some answer to it somewhere in WandaVision, which I'm not gonna watch. I'm sorry, I'm not going to. I don't want to. I didn't want to when it came out, and I don't want to now. So I feel like when I'm watching this, I'm just like, she doesn't seem to have very strong motivations, and I just didn't understand this destroy everything mode when I didn't have like a reason for it. I feel like it would have been better, my opinion. I'm just trying to fix it. I'm not a director. I just like watch a ton of movies. But I feel like it would have been better if she had been trying to manipulate America to help America use her powers and, give her the strength and the ability to use her powers properly for the multiverse, right? She's like training her on how to use them. Fantastic. Because like she just keeps trying to take them from her, which would kill her. And I just think, wouldn't it have been better if she tried to pretend like she did with Strange earlier, just try to pretend she was on America's side, and America is like, yay, yeah, someone who can help me with my powers because I killed my moms. You know what I mean? And the Scarlet Witch is playing on that. I can help you control this so you don't kill anybody else. And she's like, yes, because that's some evil shit, right? You're tricking her. She killed her moms. And she's like feeling comfortable and confident. But then she walks in and she realizes and understands what you're doing. Once she understands that you are body walking, I'm going to call it body walking because that sounds better to me. But once she understands that you're body walking, inhabiting someone else's body, then America's like, oh, I got to dip. And since she doesn't have full control over her power, she just tries to like leave and she runs into a Doctor Strange. Now she keeps running into these different Stranges who are all variations. I really don't even like that aspect of it because that would be more if it was just a Doctor Strange movie. But for these purposes, apparently she runs into several different Doctor Stranges. I would actually prefer that she left, right? And she's trying to get help. And each of these other Doctor Stranges keep getting jacked up trying to help her because now Wanda is chasing her. She tried to be nice and then it went bad. Because then that makes sense, right? We have like a whole conglomeration of things that are actually happening to have Wanda while out like this. Because even understanding that maybe in WandaVision she had these kids, whatever, who cares? The point is, if I'm a viewer and I'm watching this, that's giving me motivation for why she would just be like so adamant sending like demons and one-eyed octopi after her, Because then it's like, well, she took away the thing that I needed because I was like living in this other woman's body. She took that away from me. Like I can't just go in there and like be there the way I want to because America took it. Now America's working with Doctor Strange and he's trying to help her get her powers. On another note, in the actual movie, they get all the way to the end of this bitch and like she just needs like an Atta-girl, America does, to control him. Like, she needs an Atta-girl from the zombie version. Yes, there is a zombie version of Doctor Strange. She needs an Atta-girl from Zombie Strange, and then she's just like, sweet, I got this, dog, and can just use her powers. Bitch, what? Are you serious? Y'all are telling me that this movie runs for 2 hours and like 12 minutes or some bullshit. This movie is 2 hours long, and all she needed was an Atta-girl to be able to fully control her powers. Who wrote this? It's terrible. Like, how do we get all the way through the movie? And that's the other thing that bothers me is throughout the whole thing, I don't feel like very much focus was put on her learning to control it at all. Like, at all. She just kept randomly falling into another multiverse. And at no point does anybody just go like, figure this out. Like, she just goes, it only happens when I get like really emotional. And then like nobody is like, okay, focus on da-da-da-da-da. Like nobody gives her any instruction. So she's just floating around, and then you get to the end and it's like, Atta girl, you got this, and she's like, sure do. And it's just like, all right, is this strawberry shortcake or what's going on? I just feel like I watched that whole thing. There were no good motivations behind what most people were doing. I actually loved the part where Strange runs into evil Strange, like regular Strange runs into super evil Strange, who has been knocking off other Stranges. This is the movie I actually wanted, because when we run into this Strange, and this will be like, I feel like the final things that I say on this, because I don't want any more smoke from you Marvel fans. I feel like the Strange movie that I wanted to see was the one that was hinted at that it could have been. When he runs into Evil Strange in the Tower of Darkness, that's not what it's called, that's what I'm calling it. And that Strange begins talking about how he kept trying to find a multiverse that had a Christine in it that loved him. That ties to the beginning of the movie, and that makes more sense. Like that it's a Strange fighting Strange, because that's strange, right? That he would be looking constantly for a universe where him and Christine can be together, right? And in so doing, we also find out this fool has been knocking off the other Stranges and Christine's for it not working out for him, because he knocks off the other Strange in hopes that he can be with Christine, but nothing he does can make her happy, so he kills her. So then he just keeps popping around the multiverse. It's get rid of America Chavez, get rid of the Scarlet Witch, and have this be a Strange versus Strange versus Strange versus Strange versus Strange versus Strange movie. Because that I found fascinating. Because I thought that at the very beginning, like, wow, that's really sad that he is sad. And anytime he went into a universe where there was a Christine, I was like, okay. And it's not really a multiverse, just side note. It didn't feel multiversy. I didn't feel like I was going through a lot of multiverses. I feel like, were there 2, perhaps 3 that we saw? And then it was like, so is that multi really? Because I feel like that's a triverse. I know that that's the name of the actual, but I wanted to see more of that. So I thought for us to be able to see more of that, it would have been better, from my opinion, if the actual movie was about Strange having to fight this other Strange who keeps trying to find a world where Christine and he can be together. And when he is unsuccessful at that, after he's inhabited the other Strange, he kills off that Strange and then eventually kills off Christine. So in this one, instead of like him being like at the wedding, it would have been more fun. Maybe he's at the engagement party or whatever, and she's really happy, and he feels like that whole sensation of like, what the hell's going on? And he just like kind of shakes it off, you know, and he's having the nightmares of Christine dying, you know, not loving him. So those are just my opinions. They're not great, you know, they are what they are. But I just feel like Doctor Strange, I did not like it. It was 2 hours of my time that I actually wanted to get back. It wasn't good. And again, I don't think it's all on Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi can't save this. He's not really, in my opinion, when it comes to horror and the stuff that he does, he's not really a PG-13 kind of guy. Like, did y'all see New Evil Dead? Anyways, that's not really his forte. And I implore Marvel to, and I do the same thing with DC as well, which they're finally starting to do in some aspects. I just implore them to let the stories be what they need to be, and like maybe just stop constantly trying to cater to the kids, because like they have Captain America, you know what I mean? Like, that's fine. They have Iron Man, that's fine. You can make properties strictly for adults, and that's fine. Like, it'll be good. And I'm not saying it all has to be R-rated. I'm just saying it has to make sense. It felt like there was a lot of bad CGI in this. Just like tons of it everywhere. It's just like CGI and CGI. And I can't even really get started on the fact that, you know, that one guy, Jim from The Office, is there. Yeah, he is. So he's the stretchy guy from Fantastic Four. Again, I'm terrible with names, and I'm also not great with superheroes, but I do know why the Fantastic Four keeps flopping on screen. And that is it. That is it. That is the video. I hope my big hair was enough to save me. I hope the Marvel stands don't come and try to eat my face, because I like this face. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, that's that on that. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. Also check out some of my other videos. They'll be playing after this. You could subscribe. Some of them are makeup videos, you know, but a lot of them now are media. It's makeup and entertainment. Were you entertained? I hope you were. All right. This video is, as all of my videos, is sponsored by my patrons and channel members, without whom I would not be able to create this fantastic content. I think it's fantastic. I would not be able to have the time to actually be able to edit all of this stuff and get the equipment and all the things that I need to be able to put these videos together. Thank you all so much to all of you who watch, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you as well. And remember, it costs $0 to be kind. It is so good for your soul, because if you don't take care of it, I'm sure shit coming for yours. Until next time, XOXO. Gothic girl. Wow. Y'all, look at this up close. You're welcome.